All right. Welcome back to our next session. I forgot to let you know you will not get a notification if you did not pass the test. So if you did not receive your certificate within 15 minutes, you can assume that you failed the assessment. Okay, so you would need to go and retake the test. I forgot to mention that in the first session. Our NARPOD code is on the screen for our second session. We top up at 50 participants in the NARPOD. So, whoa, we have 150 persons in here now. Wow. All right, so we better just get started because, like I promised, this one is we coming out with the big guns today. All right. So, in our first session, we wanted to give you a little bit of background, set the stage for when we talk about artificial intelligence and even AI in education. Now we're going to consider artificial intelligence in this session for the teacher. All right, and we're going to get a little bit more hands-on, seeing the tool in action. And then, of course, you will be given opportunity to try it out as well. Okay, so imagine, let me go for those of you who are in the NAPOD. Uh, Once again, the presentation team is here and ready for you. So imagine having a virtual teaching assistant or an assistant who is available to you 24/7, doesn't drink coffee, and always responds when called. Some of you wish your spouse could operate like that, hey? To understand how AI can become a teacher's assistant, and that's what we're going to look at really, an assistant to the teacher. We in the last session, I brought up a little bit about how AI can help be a teaching assistant, but we'll see that more when we go into from the student perspective. But for this session, we're going to look at it from the teacher's assistant. And in order to see how AI can assist teachers, it's very important that we actually pay attention to uh, it's important for us to look at it from, what are the different teacher roles anyway. So for this entire session, we're going to go through some of the teacher roles and understand how AI can support these roles. And so we're going to go through a bit of an activity called Help Me AI. So this is our cry out to artificial intelligence to say, help me AI. Are you ready? All right, so let's start with the first role for teachers. This me? That's my team. This me or someone else?
Okay, no, that's me. Sorry. Hi again. Yes. Okay. So, when it comes to teacher roles or lesson planning, we create lesson plans and forecast notes that align with the curriculum and set clear learning objectives. Design activities for different learning styles. Prepare resources like materials, hands-out, and digital tools. Plan assessments and strategies for classroom management. So we have the lesson planning where it definitely should align or would align to the curriculum. Design activities, like she said. So Ms. Wilson is going to come in to show us some stuff, and then I'm going to come back in with the comprehension passage.
So here's what I want you to do with this particular page, though, on your NARPOD. You have 4 rules when it comes to lesson planning. I want you to highlight or tick the ones, or maybe put an X on the one that you just want AI to make easier or perhaps take away altogether. Like, take it away, AI. Take this task away from me. Go on in and put on it. You can even drop it in the chat if you want. Which one of these, if not all, you would like AI to help me, AI? So I know in the past too, let me see, those persons who are in what we're seeing. Oh, definitely create, someone up with all backup. Create lesson plans, design activities, cross them all out. That's it. Let's see what else persons having. Yes, cross them all. You see them coming in terms of their responses. All right, I see design activities for different learning styles. Take it away. Prepare resource materials. Take it away. Or create lesson plans for the curriculum. Take it away. Help me, AI. Help me, AI. Help me, AI. All right. So as we were planning this session, you know, persons, especially if you've done a session on AI before, and teacher use of AI. One of the easier things, or one of the things that you may have seen, you could go to AI and you could ask, you know, the tool to create a lesson plan for you, right? Create a lesson plan. You give them the topic. They do a really good job at generating a lesson plan for you. Now, in recent times, because the tool has become so much smarter, even forecast notes. Well, I think that was 2 years ago. We did a session, not last summer, summer before last. We did a session on lesson plan generation. And during that time when we did it, even with forecast generation, the way when we prompted the AI, what it was able to do is it was able to give us the components of the forecast notes, but like on a list form. So let's just say a generalist teacher, after I give the topic for the week, they were able to give me lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5, right? And then I would take that information and I will copy and paste that into my grid, you know, the forecast table that we have. And then that was wonderful. How many of you have used that so far, or used that since, or have been using that for your forecast notes? You'll say, I'm teaching a lesson on the digestive system and I'm teaching it across 3 lessons. Give me 3 forecast notes or forecast bits for it. How many of you have tried it? And if you've tried it and found that it didn't work too well, what are some of the things that you noticed? What are some of the things that you would have noticed when you tried to use it for generation of forecast notes? Some person said they tried. Did they do a good job? Well, recently, and I can't even say recently because I can't even remember what, is there another Nairport link? Yes, there is another Nairport link. I can't remember when it actually came, when it actually started doing this, to be honest. But I know with ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini, I've tried it across all 3. They're able to give you now downloadable files like Word documents, Excel spreadsheets. The PowerPoint presentation isn't all that, across the 3 tools. But we know that ChatGPT also allows, one of their plugins will also push for PowerPoint presentations, right? So, I love these people who are already talking about what it is that we need to do. So now I'm going to share, I'm going to do this live. I have not tried this in a while, and I haven't done it the way that I've done it. I'm going to do it now. So you're going to witness my prompt generation and my thought process in the way that I will train, which will end up being my forecast notes generator, GPT. So this is my, I'm using ChatGPT. That's my preference. Now, one of the things you have to remember with GPT or with any AI tool is you want to start by giving it some sort of context. Yes, we could jump straight here and say, give me a lesson plan on photosynthesis. And it will give you a lesson plan on photosynthesis. It will assume and try to guess what grade or whatever the case may be. But I like to give my AI, my GPT, a little bit of context. So actually, let me tell you what I want my end product to be. Wait, let me stop sharing because I have to share. Stop sharing. This is a copy. Let me show it to you here of what my forecast notes used to look like. Well, you see the year 2014, right? This is one in my saved archives. What I want is I want GPT to generate this in the Word document just like this. I don't have to copy and paste the information over. Okay? I was a generalist teacher, grade 1. When we did the AI session year before last, which would have been 2020, is 25, I mean 25, 24, 23. I haven't feel like I was in 22 to be honest. We had to, I showed copy and paste, and that was sweet. But now I want to try out a different way because the tool is a bit smarter. Like I said, I haven't done this yet, so I didn't even practice this. So y'all going through my full process together, okay? All right, let me just check in the chat. So now, remember I said we want to give the GPT context. So here I'm going to go. Oh, I always like to be polite. Just the way it is. I say hi. First of all, I would say I am a first grade teacher at a school in the Bahamas. Yes, and the thing is, you may consider me giving a lot of information or talking a lot to the tool, but it's setting the pace. You need to set the groundwork, the foundation. When you give these details, you will be surprised to see how it will customize, and the output will be more tailored to you. We are required to submit a weekly forecast of what will be taught each week. Now, what I'm also going to do is, you saw that same example, that Word document that I shared. I'm going to add that because I want to upload that. I need them to understand. So I'm going to upload that. That's my Wilson forecast. And then I'd say the attached document is what it looks like. And then I'm describing the forecast book. It is laid out according to the periods for each day. For each day, each block contains the subject, topic, at least one objective, I'll say one objective for now, written in ABCD format, and an activity, right? The attached document. The attached document is what it looks like. It is laid out according to periods for each day. Each block contains the subject, topic, at least one objective written in ABCD format, and activity. In essence, the forecast notes, or the forecast, is a very, very abbreviated version of a lesson plan, right? And I usually type just the way that I talk too. And that helps it with the natural language processing. Now that I believe that I would have given enough information about what the forecast notes is, right? Now, your task will be to generate the weekly forecast in the table format after I would have provided you with the specific topics for each subject. Now, here's a tip, guys, and this is a big tip. Once, because a lot of instructions inside here, one of the things I like to always ask Charlie to do from the very beginning is for him to tell me what he understands so far. So I would say, tell me what you understand so far. Or I'll simply ask, do you understand what I am asking? Or, and then what it will do is process this and reiterate. And then from that, so let's just see what it's going to say. So he said, thanks for the upload and context. Here's what I understand so far. You are a first grade teacher in the Bahamas. Each week, you must submit a weekly forecast. The forecast is organized by periods for each day, Monday to Friday. Each block /entry in the table includes subject topic, at least one objective in the ABCD. See how they figure out the condition and all that? The forecast is a very condensed version of the lesson plan, summarizing the key focus for each session. Your task for me is once you provide the topic for each subject, I will generate the complete weekly forecast in the table format, like the one in your uploaded document, with objectives in ABCD format and appropriate activities for each lesson. Sounding good, right? He sounded like he understands what I want. Now, just from my own experience, I think it's important for Charlie to understand my timetable. He needs to understand how many times the subject is being taught across the week, because I want them in the right spot. Now, I can't find my old timetable from 2014, or to just upload that here and say to him, pay attention to the timetable in terms of, blah, blah, blah. So since I don't have the timetable, I will force him to tell me. So from the uploaded document, you should be able to determine my teaching timetable. Tell me. Teaching timetable as it relates to what is taught each day and its sequence on the schedule. You should also be able to determine how many times a subject is taught. And then I'll ask, am I correct? Because you see, remember the Bible says, train up in a child in the way he should go, and ready so the child not depart from it. What we actually doing is teaching AI. And mind you, sometimes we go to AI and we look for something and it doesn't come out right. What people be like, oh, the information isn't correct. It isn't right. Think of real teachers. You have to teach it. And if it gives you something that is wrong, you know what you do? You send it back and say, no. You got the first part wrong, right. But the second part here, And then you send it back. And let me tell y'all something, ladies and gentlemen. These reactions to responses. Use them. So watch it. Another thing that I usually would do. Anyway, let's go. So we say, yes, you are absolutely correct. From your uploaded weekly forecast, I was able to determine your teaching timetable, including the subject schedule period by day. I can clearly see what subjects are taught each day, the order, the sequence in which they are taught, how many times each week they appear. So for example, reading is taught every day in period 1. Math is taught every day in period 2. Creative writing is taught multiple times across 3 and 5. Grammar, handwriting, spelling have set placements. You also have special subjects like PE, music, and art scheduled in recurring blocks on specific days. So yes, once you give me the new topics for each subject, I can generate a complete weekly forecast using the actual timetable structure from this document. Everybody, let's pause and say, "Oh, hallelujah." Now, let me tell you what I like to do. I always like to tell Charlie when he's on track, because when you give feedback and you confirm, just like children, just like us, we like to know we're doing a good job. Tell the tool it's doing a good job. So I would say, well, I would give the thumbs up, but then I would also say I'll say something like, great job with this. I just want to make sure, see if there's any other thing that I want to, and then I'll say, I forgot to mention, we have specialist teachers for PE and music. Therefore, I don't need to fill in those blocks with content. However, I still need placeholders for them. Yeah. You could understand my double need. That's just how much I need it. Okay. And then we'll say okay. All right, perfect. Thanks for clarifying. Thanks, Okay, thanks for clarifying. I'll include the placeholders for PE and music in the schedule, but leave their content sections like everything else will follow your established format. Just turn over the topics for each subject when you're ready, and I'll build the fully weekly forecast template for you. I mean, this dude's already, but I just needed to, all that was just a part of it. And now we get to put it in. So, I could go and type the topics in, right? But I could go and type the topics in from the pacing guide. Now, I could tell you, I've tried uploading the pacing guides to it so that I could just go out and read the pacing guide for week. There's a bit of a challenge when you just upload that PDF document because of the way that it was formatted. Okay? And so let's create one. Yeah. So uploading the full document, Charlie gets a little confused. What I found is using, especially with big databases like that, you need to have, it's better to have them in Excel so that the data is organized. Because we create the pacing guide so it can be used, I want to say reader friendly from the front. There were times that we had to break the cell up. We had to merge some things across. And so when you upload that into the system, it's a bit difficult sometimes for the tool to read. And so therefore, sometimes it doesn't read it well. Okay, that's just something I learned from experience. So what I'm going to do is I just opened up, all right. I opened up the pacing guide just now. And I took a screenshot of week 3. Now, sorry, week 3. Let me show you what I mean. Actually, let me see. Let me show you what I mean. Share. This. Right here. I just took a screenshot of this one page. And even though I need to add this too, I need to add this second page because all of this is a part of week. All of this was a part of week 3. Okay. Now let me go back over to Chatty. And you may say, Wilson, there's a lot of work you're going through for this, right? Set it and forget it. And you wait until I be able to produce, well, that's what I plan to have for you all for the next school year, especially at the primary level. The pacing guide available to you in the Excel format too, so that you can use it in GPT in the way that I'm trying to say. Okay, so now I'd say, I have the 2 images of my weekly forecast, right? Okay, now before we get started, so let me tell Chatty, hold on now, hold on. Before we get started, you get started, I need you to see something else. Attached are images from our pacing guide showing us what should be taught in each subject during week 3. Do you understand it? So you say, oh, yes, I understand what I'm seeing. So the reading block of these particular things going on, math got this going on, handwriting, grammar, written composition, social studies, social science, which is integrated, visual arts, performing arts, PE. So he ran it, still ready. Let me know when you're ready to turn this into your weekly forecast based on your existing schedule. So I'd say, by the way, IDU, which was the interdisciplinary unit, takes the place is social science. Because remember, that was the template that I had added, had IDU on it because I was from 2014. Okay? Takes the IDU is social science. So he says, okay. Tell me something like, okay. All right. I'll treat IDU as social science in the forecast from now on. We also change words, but study the spelling, but whatever, we can leave that there. Okay. Now I am ready for you to create my forecast notes for week 3. Boom. Let's see what's gonna happen. Analyzing. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. From yesterday, we noticed Charlie been up in a little bit of a lag. Hey, y'all. But it's okay. It's gonna come in soon. And trust me, it doesn't normally take this long, but I can tell y'all ChatGPT been having a little bit of a lag these last 2 days. But we'll get it. But anyway, while that is happening, I was gonna say some more things, but we just get our product. So let's look at this, y'all. Let's look at this. Oh, mercy. So what we see here is they created this table, eh? So we see subject reading. Let's open it up, expand the table. How it looking? So they actually built this as a spreadsheet, right? So it says your forecast notes have been generated based on your teaching schedule. So when I click inside here, I see the subject, topic, patterns, the objectives. With teacher guidance, students will extend and describe repeating patterns with 85% accuracy. Activities: create and describe color and shape patterns using manipulatives. Now, okay, thank you, chat. You're doing an excellent job. So I'm going to say, this is great. Please. So seeing it asked me, let me know if you would like this exported to Word or need edits for the future week. And then I'd say, this is great. Give this to me in a Word document. And let me, it's analyzing. So, right. So you could ask him for the Excel, you could ask him for the Word. And so here it comes. Your weekly forecast is now ready. So I'm going to click onto it and it downloads the file. Now let's go to the downloaded file and let's see what comes out. Done, 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 done. Drum roll, please. Let me share. And this is what it produced for me. So I found that I didn't tell Chatty to put it in a landscape, but come on, man. After you do all that work, I must be could go ahead and turn this into landscape and then fix up my table. Say what y'all say. Now, guess what? Because we spent all that time training Chatty for forecast notes for this for the first time. When we go back, oh, help us, Heavenly Father. I should say, thank you, Heavenly Father. All we need to do is send those screenshots for week 2 or week 6 or week 7 and say, give me my forecast notes, please. And now you have this is how AI can help you with your forecasting. Because see, before, it couldn't figure out what we doing, which mean forecast notes. So let's just say specialist teachers. It's all about how you train it. And then after a certain amount of times, you could go back and say, you know something, I want the headers, which is like subject, topic, objectives, to be in bold. You say that to him. You let them know and say, no, 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 no. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Because most times too, they will ask you, the tool will ask you, what else do you want me to do? Let me just pull up again and see what happened. Let me go to that again. Share. Right here. So see here, your weekly forecast is complete. Let me know if you need the same for upcoming weeks or want to make adjustments. And this is just taking off at least half of the workload that we've been doing. Now, mind you, you know what I didn't do though? I didn't read through to check what was there. You still have to check it, right? And then check the activities or whatever. You could even say to Chatty, make sure there are no activities that require devices, because I don't have computers in my classroom. All that is a part of when we talk about setting the stage, setting the context, you would let them know. All right. I want engaging activities, or I have an all boys class. I have a class that have that's mixed. That I have mixed abilities. I want my activities to always be centered around cultural elements or thematic or something like that. For each week, and it will do so. It will do so, and it will do so very easily. But you have to keep going back, and you have to keep letting them know what's right, letting them know what's wrong, and then giving them. Now, I could tell you right off the bat too, right? I could go in here and I could go and ask Chatty to go and generate, and he could probably generate maybe an additional 6 weeks perfect. By the time he reaches the 7th week, they start going astray. No lie. the AI will start going astray, wanting to add its own thing and do its own thing. But just like when we were training the children, we be like, hold on now, I didn't ask you for that. Please go back to the original plan. So there are times, if you see some of my chats, I would say, you're going off mode, chat. Go back to the original. And sometimes I even have to go and upload the original documents again to give it to remind. And they say, thank you for the clarification. Or they say, thank you for reminding me. And then we pull them back on track. So that was a full-on live. Ooh, that one took long, y'all. I don't know if we could get through the rest in this time. But anyhow, we're going to keep on moving. But that was one of the ways. And I tried to model for you, not just generating the forecast notes itself, but showing you the types of conversations you have with the tool in order to give you what you need. All of that is what you hear when you hear the term talking about prompt engineering. That's what we do. All of that was the prompt, setting the stage. You kind of assume that they know what it is that you want. I did a session the other day, and one of the at a school, and they said that they don't generate the lesson plans well because that school have a specific component that is not common in other lesson plans. So I said, well, that's because you ain't teach your child your AI how to generate your special lesson plan. But once you teach them how to create your special lesson plan, then you will get it. And sure enough, it works. So that's where I will pause. We will go on now. That was just one in terms of lesson planning. What's next, ladies?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That I just from that presentation that can tell you that how AI is revolving. I mean, if you had seen, okay, if you know about Bard, okay, we've came far with Bard because now we have Gemmy. So my task for today is we're going to be talking a little bit about comprehension. Okay, you want your students to comprehend the content better, or you want to find creative ways. How can I have my teacher's assistant to help me with that? So I'm going to use Chatty. I'm actually a Jammy girl, but I'm going to use Chatty for today. So let me share my screen. Okay, so what I did, I got objectives from the syllables, the science syllables. So all I'm going to do is just copy and paste that in. Okay, I'm going to copy. That's all I'm going to do right now. I'm going to copy this. And let's see what Chat is going to do for me. So we have identified the major organs of the digestive system. Label the organs of the digestive system on a diagram. Describe the main functions of each digestive organ. Blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to do, now you see Ms. Wilson talking about prompting. I'm not really going to prompt right now. Let's see what Chatty's going to do for me. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Chatty to create a narrative story. I'm just putting it in. Because I had this up. Hold on, let me move this. I'm gonna put it twice. Okay, create a narrative story on these objectives for grade 7. That's it. And that is so vague. But Chatty's going to give me something. But let's see if I'm gonna be satisfied with this. So let's see. Oh, very vague. Let's see what Chatty's gonna do. Here's a narrative story designed to teach grade 7 students the objective you have listed. Because I put the objective there, so right there, I'm actually training my AI. So journey through the digestive system, a story for grade 7. Even in chapters. The mouth gate, where the adventures begin. So I could almost see this now. We can actually turn this into a skit and have the students perform this. And if you need the skit, you just say, Chatty, I love this. Just turn this into a skit. But guess what? This week we celebrate our flag, Bahamian, but I want to put a twist to this and say, okay then, use Bahamian characters. Okay, so all I'm going to do is type in use Bahamian characters with this. We're going to keep the same story. Keep the story. We're going to now use Bahamian characters. Let's see what Chatty is going to do. Here's your revised grade 7 narrative featuring Bahamian characters and culture context while keeping all the scientific context intact. Okay, a Bahamian journey through the digestive system. The big Junkanoo jam inside the body. Are you ready for Junkanoo? No. Yes. So this is helping you actually to just think out of the box. So you have medium, the guava duff bite. So then goes on to, okay, so we have the chapter 1. We have the chapter 2, the esophagus, the nasal slide. Chapter 3, the stomach, the Bahamian part. Chapter 4, the helper. And I just continue and it goes on. So it even gives me a summary. Amazing. Function of the digestive system. It even gives, I didn't even ask Chatty to give me a table, you know. But this is what Chatty did. He also gave me a table. Activity ideas, label, because it's using the objectives that I gave to Chatty. So Chatty's working with that. So would you like a diagram worksheet? I can say yes, a quiz, or PowerPoint version of this story next. A PowerPoint would be really nice, but you know, with Chatty, he will just give you the skeleton version, and then you can always just put it into Canva. So let's look at, let's say, create a worksheet. Create a worksheet. So as you can see, in no time, in less than 6 seconds, the worksheet is here. Instruction, and using those same objectives that I put in to train the AI, that's what Chatty's using. Match the organs to the functions. Unless I want this on a Word document now, I can copy and paste it and put it in a Word document, or I can ask Chatty to put this in a Word document format. Thank you. And then like Ms. Wilson said earlier about the GPT swaying, sometimes, yeah, your Chatty would sway off and you would say, no, 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 no. This is not what I asked for. Like she said, you could just put the documents back in, or you can put the objectives back in to train it some more, or to tell, okay, this is what I want. So right now you see it's still analyzing. It was being really slow this week, but let's see what it's going to give us. And there may be some other ideas. What are some other ideas you think you can, or activities you can do with this? You can put the answers in the chat. Okay, so let's see our download version of our worksheet. And it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Oh man. Okay, so let me bring this over. Alrighty. Okay, grade 7 science worksheet. The big Junkanoo jam inside the body. And it's here for you. You can always go in, customize it in the way that you want, add pictures. Bam. I also was thinking, can I go on and use, practically get a picture of the digestive system and see what they can do with that? If you want me to try that, give me a thumbs up. If not, you can try it and let me know what you got. You can just go to Google or the internet browser, get a picture of the digestive system, and just by using the digestive system, it can create the story based on that image, questions based on that image. Awesome. Okay, next, Kevra is going to overwork.
Hold on. I was waiting for you to do something with this, something. Kevra's doing the next thing, right?
Yes.
No, wait, I ain't finished with this yet. Wait,
Okay,
I don't know about y'all, but I'm not finished with it. I need you to generate me an image of, scroll up to the story.
Okay.
So let me see what this, Liam.
Yes,
So ask Chatty, right? Ask Chatty to give me a cover image, a cartoon cover image for the story. Let me see what they're gonna give me. A cover, and we want it in 2D cartoon.
give me a 2D cartoon cover image for this. I should say Disney. That's fine. So Chatty is working. And let's see what Chatty's going to give us.
And while she's doing that, I saw someone noted that, and I'm certain it's probably going to come out again, but I thought maybe I could do it whilst that's happening, that they don't give essays for homework anymore. My question is, why not? Now, here's what I'm thinking, right? Let them go and generate their essay as the first draft using AI if that's what they want. Homework is only worth 10% anyhow. But when they come to your classroom, they now have to create the essay, which is the second draft. Either they don't use it, they don't have to use the piece that they produce out there. But see, what will happen is they'll start to learn from what they thought they were going to send to you for homework as a complete grade. They would need to pay attention to what it is. So for the next time, when you tell them to go and generate for first draft, they will pay more attention and you will see better structure coming in the actual class work. But when you start to say, don't use AI, don't use AI, we'll talk more about that in the next session. What they will do is use AI underneath the table because they believe they're flamming somebody. They ain't flamming nobody. You tell them, go right ahead. You could use AI because we give them the prompts anyway, right? Write about your summer vacation. Be sure to say blah, blah, blah. Let them go to AI. Right? But when they come to your class, now they have to go and do the second draft. Usually, too, when you with creative writing or writing composition, anyway, you go and you give them feedback based off of each part, too, right? You give them the feedback based off of how they did. We could even show them how to use AI to provide the feedback to their own writing to become better writers. But we're going to talk more about that on the student side, which is our next session. Talk about um, student use and how we can help to direct them towards good use for AI, but we have to get across to or over some biases. Um, so while that is coming up, because the image usually takes a little longer to generate, what we're going to do is we will move on, but as soon as it's ready, Kenisha, you let us know and we'll pause wherever we are to just come and see what image they came up with.
Okay, no problems. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kenisha. We are going to move on to lesson delivery. And in lesson delivery, we want to make sure that we are presenting content clearly and using varied teaching, as well as engaging students through questions and activities and checking understanding during the lesson. And lastly, adapting in real time to students' needs and classroom dynamics. All right. So these are the teacher roles in lesson delivery. So I am going to share my screen. And we are going to look at the civics curriculum. And for this demonstration, we are going to be simplifying a complex text for struggling readers. All right. So we're going to start off by you'll see I already started. So I'm going to go to Google, and from Google, I am going to search up the Bahamas Constitution. There we go. And then I get into that. This is a PDF document. And I am going to download this to my device. I just save it and save it here. You'll see it's already downloaded. So then I go on to ChatGPT, and so I can take it out here, add photos and files, and select the constitution that I would have just downloaded. And here Chatty telling me ask anything. So what I am going to ask ChatGPT to do first, I find an objective from the civics curriculum, and I have it open here, and this is found on the Ministry of Education's website. And I am going to select this one, interpret Article 15 of the Bahamian Constitution. Shall I copy that? And then bring it over here. So I am going to say using the Constitution document, interpret Article 15 of the Bahamian Constitution. And you'd see that I copied that directly from the curriculum. All right, from the civics curriculum. And there we go. Let's see what Chatty is going to do for us. All right, so you'll see that it is attaching the actual Article 15. So this is the Article 15 here. It extracted that from the document and it gave us the Article 15 and then it gave us an interpretation. So here now we are going to put in another prompt. So let's just say we are teaching a 10th grade class, a 10th grade civics class, and we have a student reading at, I don't know, you tell me, what, a grade 3 reading level? Sorry.
Yeah,
So
let's
I
go with
am
3.
going to go stick with 3, and I'm going to ask Chatty to simplify this interpretation for a student at grade 3 level. And let's see. All right, so there we have it. It is simplified for a 3rd grade reading level. We went from this to this, and here you will see the words are simpler. They're using shorter sentences, and it's easier for students to read and better for them to understand, especially for those students reading at that 3rd grade reading level. All right, so then we can ask Chatty to help us or to generate from this simplified version. See, it's asking us here if you'd like it to be turned into a poster or even a coloring page. That would be good, but we're also going to ask it to generate some questions and additional activities. Thank you. Give me some hands-on activities to use during my lesson that will keep my students engaged. So I just want to make sure I tell Chatty to using this content. Use this content. All right, so use this content to give me some hands-on activities to use during my lesson that will keep my students engaged. And here we have it. You're welcome. Here are hands-on, fun, and meaningful activities you can use to help your students, your grade 3 students, understand and enjoy learning about their rights from Article 15 of the Bahamian Constitution. Right away, we have help students remember the 3 main rights. So let's go and look back. So here, the objective was to interpret Article 15 of the Constitution, and this simplified version is going to help them to remember that. And then here are some additional activities: creating a poster. All right, so we have here writing the 3 rights on the board and asking them to draw pictures or cut out images to show these rights, and then we can display the posters around the room. So you know how you usually have to display students' work, and this is just a creative activity that the students would have completed. So it's going to brighten your classroom. And then another activity, rights matching the rights using picture cards and words, and role playing, practicing recognizing rights in everyday situations. So here they are actually applying the rights to everyday situations. And rights story writing, they can ask, what would your life be like if you had no rights? This one would be very interesting. And then we have right or responsibility. It's a sorting game where they sort rights versus responsibilities. And finally, a classroom rights chart. Work as a class to create a class rights and respect chart. All right. So here are 3 of the rights, and students will draw or sign their names to show that they agree. All right. So here we would have adapted this content to real time, using here, this one here, where they would have applied it to a real life situation. So we are meeting the needs of the students. We're using various kinds of activities. You could even go on to ask them to write a poem. If you want to, they can write a poem about rights. Just take it away. Whatever needs are in your classroom, whatever your students' likes are, we can ask Chatty to cater it to their likes, to cater it to what their needs, to cater it based on their level. It's just whatever prompt you use, whatever it is you put in that prompt to ask Chatty about, he is going to give you. And so this is how we're going to make lesson delivery easier. Alrighty.
Awesome, Kevra. Thank you so much. Kenisha, your
Ye-
image came up yet. But
Yes,
right
we're
before
ready.
Kenisha comes in with her image, one of the things too I want to say with Meta, Kevra was talking about how AI could help us with lesson delivery. That's actually execution while you're in the classroom, nice and live right now, right? With Meta being on our phones now with WhatsApp, right? If you sit now, you've had this beautiful lesson plan. When you reach inside the classroom, the children, I don't know, maybe they had a really exhausting run at the period before, and they're here looking at you like like they're dead. I may have to run to Meta and say, listen, I need a quick activity to wake these children up. Give me an idea. And it'll shoot it right back at you, and then you're able to adjust right quick. Hey, sounds good. Anyway, go ahead, Kenisha. Show us what you got.
Alrighty. Okay. So this is what I got. Okay. The big Junkanoo jam inside the body. And as you can see, Junkanoo, Junkanoo. So I said, you know what? Let me go, while Kara was presenting, I said, let me go to Google and get a diagram of the digestive system. And I said, you know what? Give me a little Disney theme with it. You all ready? Isn't this cute? But I'm giving the answers, but I liked it. It's very cute. But Chatty's working. But so that's it. So I'm just telling you, you can do so much with Chatty. All right.
All right. So moving right along, we have what's this lesson? Oh, assessment and feedback. Assessment and feedback.
Okay, and just when you thought it could not get any better, we're going to show you some more features and capabilities of ChatGPT. And so just before I come with that, I want to share my screen and just go over this part with you. Is everyone able to see my screen? All right. And so we're looking at developing and administering quiz, tests, and projects, as well as assignments. and evaluating student progress and providing timely feedback. It also is able to identify learning gaps and offer remediation. Now, English teachers, are there any English teachers out there? English teachers, I know you have large class sizes. So imagine classes of 35, 32, 38, right? And you have all of these essays to grade, and these essays are 3 pages, 4 pages each. And you know that some of our students, they write in italics, right? So what if there was a way for you to grade faster, to understand text easier, and to give timely um, and detailed, very thorough feedback? And so Ms. Wilson is going to show us in a little more detail how that works, how that process works with ChatGPT. All right, so I will stop sharing so that she can go ahead and you will see exactly what I mean. Prepare to have your mind blown away.
All right. So for the longest, I've been wanting to do this because I'm not in the classroom. I don't have access to student writing. So I'm also putting it out there. If any teachers in there, you have access to some student writing. I want some handwritten stuff. Please scan me a few and send them in because I want to see what else we could do with Chatty, right? So I got an essay, got access to one essay, handwritten essay, and I wanted to see what would happen. So I started off by saying, well, let's say here is a, but I misimpressed enter, but anyhow. So I said, here is a persuasive writing prompt for 6th grade. Mrs. Johnson walked into her classroom and met the following message on her board. Sorry, we are no longer accepting homework assignments. Signed, most of the students. You are one of the students who do not agree, who do or do not agree with your classmates. And so I asked her, create a marking rubric for this. Now, I didn't create this assignment because the student had already written the essay. I'm working backwards. But as a teacher, hopefully you make your rubrics first. So they said, okay, here is my persuasive writing rubric that they gave. You see it? They generated this rubric along with the scoring guide. Then I uploaded, you see, this paper been through hell and back, 2 sides of the students' writing, and I said, here is a submission by L. Burrows. Are you able to understand it? We could try our best. And even the little food stain on the right-hand top left-hand corner was still there. So he said, yes, I could read and understand L. Burrows' persuasive essay submission. Here is a brief summary of what the student wrote. The student disagrees, and here are the main arguments presented. And then, without me even saying so, he already gone and graded this using the rubric that we provided, right? But that's not what I really wanted. This is what I want. I said, provide the feedback that I should share with the students for improvement. Remember to use childlike language. So they said, here is a student-friendly version of feedback that you could provide to L. Burrows. Hi, L. Burrows. You did a great job sharing your opinion clearly. I can tell you believe that homework is important, and you explained your reasons in a way that made sense. What I really liked, you clearly said how you felt about the message on the board, and you stuck with that opinion all the way through. You gave 3 strong reasons why homework is helpful. It helps teachers, helps students review, and builds memory. And you also used examples to explain your thinking, like asking parents for help and being ready for quizzes. That was smart. Here's what you can work on. Try to use connecting words like in addition, for example, to help with your writing flow better from the one idea to the next. Watch out for small spelling and grammar errors like memory instead of memory and student instead of students. Some of your ideas will repeat a little. So next time, try to keep each point fresh and not say the same thing more than once. You are right on track, and I can see you're thinking deeply. Keep practicing and adding those polished touches. Your writing is getting stronger every day. Keep it up, superstar. Now tell me how human I sound giving that to my student. Don't I sound like a superhuman? Tell me if that's on AI. How would you feel getting this kind of response in terms of feedback? How do you think your students will feel getting this kind of response to their feedback, to their work? Come on now. What you think? Anyway, I ain't finished yet. Not finished yet. Because honestly, when we grade the assessment, when we grade the writing, if we are unable to give meaningful feedback back to the children, they just get a grade on the top 60%. How are they going to improve their own writing? So Chatty is leading the Toastmasters Club. There you go. There you go. So, but for us, marking it is troublesome. So let them figure out the rubric, give Shadi us the rubric. Now we have to write it and we need to put it in. So now I said, give me a clean version, typed version with the feedback inserted. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Hold your seats. So this is what they did, because she had the prompt to the top. That's why you see that. In the bolded part is the student, what the student wrote. I do not agree with the majority of my class. Homework helps students reinforce learning and develop essential skills like time management, organization. This was the feedback. Great job sharing your opinion clearly at the start. Then look here, you explained this well. Try adding a transition like first of all, or one reason to help your writing flow. Come on, everybody. Nice example here. You are thinking about how students can help each other. Very thoughtful. Awesome closing reason. You explained it well. Double check your spelling. You wrote memory instead of memory. Great closing. And then we have some overall teacher feedback. And would you like this exported in Word or PDF? Now, we've been talking about how this tool is a teaching assistant helping you to mark. But OMG, if you are able to provide this feedback back to those students, what isn't it amazing in terms of helping them to improve specifically without taking away that guesswork? Maybe when you're inside, I know when you're on, your comprehension, your composition, or your writing, whatever lesson, and then they come to you to review it, to proofread and to review it and to provide feedback. You can imagine they come to your desk and you take your phone and you say, scan, bop, go up, come down and say, okay, sweetie pie, based on what we see here, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Next. Okay, and yes, next. But the quality is not just about making the work easier, but the quality of the feedback that the students are getting from you now. It is easier and it is more precise. So that's just one example. I know writing is one of the hardest areas. I know the language teachers you are, just like someone mentioned in the first session, essay coursework, just because of the AI and its prevalence right now, students giving you AI work, we gonna have to just deal with that for a moment. But what we are modeling for you is ways that you use AI and show them too. Share your screen like how I'm sharing my screen as well. Because, we have to get through this great period and then what to do, and it will help them. It will help them. So I want to say, I think I saw somebody asking about GPT, and the thing I told y'all from 2 years ago, I canceled my Netflix subscription for my ChatGPT subscription, $20 a month, $20 a month. That's how important it became to me. But no, ministry does not have ChatGPT licenses. Copilot can do the exact same thing. GPT, and you'll see us using GPT because GPT just happens to be our preference. Copilot is getting there, and you have access to that as well. I have to really try to use Copilot more so I can use that on the side, as well as Gemini. I can do some things as well. Chatty, I just love being in Chatty because he knows me so well now, and I didn't train him so well on that side so he could do what he needed to do. And he already have a lot of contacts, but I didn't spend no time with Copilot, you see? It's just like a relationship. You got to spend time for them to know you. Anyway, so we're going to move on. That was for a quick assessment.
Hi everyone, I'm back. Now, of course, we done with all the lesson planning and the forecast. That's a part of being a teacher. But there's another part of being a teacher we don't really like, and that's that paperwork, that administrative work. But don't worry, I can show you how it can be easy for you guys. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. And guys, I promise this is going to be very quick, very quick. So, with using AI, you could maintain your records of attendance because you get some parents, they'd be like, hold on. How you can say my child was absent 50 times this year? Mom, I don't know, but I'm showing you that your child was absent 50 times this year. You could go and maintain your records, your grades, the student behavior. Because sometimes we can't. I remember back in the old days, they used to throw one black and white book at me and tell me write down the student behavior. And then I lose the book at the end of the year. I can't prove anything what this child did because I don't lose that book. But if you use AI is going to keep that record for you. So if so and so always cursing in class, AI has that record. When it comes to participating in school meetings, parent-teacher conferences, professional development. Hold on, now wait. Hold on. Let's go back. You ever got an email from a principal or a parent, and you really want to answer them, but you be like, "Oh, I got to be professional with this." So you ask ChatGPT, "Hey, can you give me a professional email to respond to this person, like in a professional way?" Because you don't want to tell them what you really want to tell them. You want to tell them, hey, if you was checking so and so work, they don't have to repeat this here. But no, you're going to tell ChatGPT, give me a professional way to say that if we collaborate better in the following year, Jimmy's going to do so much better. And it's the same thing when we use AI to collaborate with other educators, other staff members, parents. Now, one of the main things that we need to work on this year is our professional growth. We need to be sure about what we want to learn as teachers. So I want you to put inside a chat for me. What do you want to learn this year as a teacher that you know is going to help you to grow, to be a better teacher? Go ahead. Take a couple seconds, put in the chat. What do you want to learn about this year? We'll try y'all on AI. Y'all just want to learn more about AI. Y'all don't care about nothing else. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. AI is developed, documenting student behaviors. Hold on, y'all want to learn more about that? Hold on, let's go with the first one, learning more about AI. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and I'm hoping that it's going to behave today. Now, hold on, when you talk about time management, you mean your time management or the student's time management? Well, hold on, we're going to use AI. Wait. So I'm going to go over the ChatGPT, and I say a primary school teacher who wants to learn more about using AI in her classroom to help her students read about grade level. Let's just say I'm going to do that. Can you help me? Look at that. Right there, helping me develop my professional development plan. I'm telling you, why should you use AI? AI-powered assistant tools. Look at all the tools. You don't even have to go on. You don't have to go and Google that. It right there. Using ChatGPT as a reading companion. Oh, AI for vocabulary expansion.
So Q, ask it now to turn this into a training plan, a professional development training plan to keep me engaged for the entire school year.
Oh, hold on. Look at that. Goal. Overview by term. Who say you can't get your 5 on your ACR for professional development? Boom. Tell them give you your 5. They right around here talking about, no, you
They
did
still
not.
have to, no Q, they still have to do it, not just
Yeah.
generate the plan.
No, but I'm now not going to professional development workshops just for the sake of going to it.
Qutell. Yes, thank you.
She know how I get excited.
It's called personalized professional development, personalized learning.
Yeah.
That we now have control over for ourselves. Sometimes we ask, well, they need to do some sessions on this. They need to do some sessions on that. Tell AI work it out for you.
Okay, before I got excited about my professional development,
I have
yes.
to pull it in, just like I have to pull in AI. Sometimes I can pull it in.
Yes, but now you're using AI. It's giving you that. It's giving you a plan, so you could be more focused on what you're gonna do every single day. How you're gonna use AI in your classroom to help your students become better readers. Look, come on, March and May. The theme is, and they give you a theme. Every reader grows. Oh, look at that photosynthesis and science going in this. Oh, and they right here talking about you ought to integrate. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Your goal is to tailor reading experiences using AIs, and they give you activities to match the goal. I don't know who will tell AI that we could still be here in June and July, though. But okay, cool. I mean, in case some of you all are actually doing summer classes, I guess. Celebrate and grow. Who told them that we were celebrating independence in July? Who told AI that? But guess what? We're going to celebrate. We're going to host small PD sessions with our colleagues. No teacher left behind. You know, they always talking about no student left behind, but no teacher left behind. Create a digital portfolio of AI integrated lesson samples. We need to stop doing these paperwork. Do a digital portfolio. Guys, listen. Draft next year. Look how to get y'all working for next year. Draft a welcome letter and reading goals using ChatGPT. Create summer reader suggestions with AI support. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go and Google that anymore. AI is here to help you be the best teacher of 5. Everybody is a 5 teacher. 5, 5, 5 for everybody. Nobody getting no 4s and 3s.
What I like you about this is if you're a team leader or a subject coordinator, you can come up with a professional development plan for your team. And then each month that you meet, or is it each week, you could ask them to now break this up and give you the quality segments that will be a part of your weekly meetings. If you are an administrator and you know that you meet every month, you're focused on, and I see some really good things that you say that you want to learn. You're focusing on classroom management strategies. Then you could have them create, and you let them know, don't forget, we always have to place, what is quality segment? Quality segment is about 15 minutes within each staff meeting where we share for growth, blah, 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 blah. And so then once they understand what it is, and now you can create more, like I say, personalized, more specific professional development for what you and your team and your colleagues need. All right. So the question, so what the question, Q, I think someone is asking, you need to see the prompt you made for the professional development plan. We just simply asked, well, we asked you, first of all, what it is that you want to learn. She put inside there, setting the pace. I am a teacher, I'm a primary school teacher, and I want to learn how to I want help with writing WIGs, the widely important goals. I am a classroom teacher, and I would like help with improving classroom management. And then it provided some content. After it provided that, and notice we didn't go straight to create a professional development learning plan. Sometimes what you need is let Kathy go and do the research first and come back. Based off of what they research, then you come back and say, now turn this into, turn this into that. So you can now be in control of your professional development and your professional learning. All right, those of you who are part of professional development teams at your school, you have access. They could go right down to creating the agenda for you, but you have control over your own professional development and plan. All right, so I think we wrap it up, eh? This session will wrap up now. Talking about very quickly, we're here talking about AI use and the teacher. We gave you some examples. We gave you some live demonstration. We showed you our thinking process. We showed you our thinking process. We showed you how it operates. Now, we need, as teachers, to consider some risks, and we need to understand boundaries. So one of the things you also need to do, as wonderful as it is, always remember, always verify the information that's coming out, especially when it starts spitting out these Word documents. Please go and read the Word documents, and check to see what it is. Verify the information. That's what we'll tell students and teachers. You have to do it too. You always remember student confidentiality. And we talked about that last session when we talked about privacy, understanding what identifiers you will be uploading to the platform for students. Ethical responsibility. When you consider, when we talk about how students use AI, but is it okay? We're telling them don't use AI in a particular way, but then we use it in a particular way. Keep your voice. And you notice in the way that we generate our prompts, in the way that we demonstrate, the way that we even speak to Jadi, it shows us also command of our own thoughts, our own voice inside the whole thing. So the whole thing is to stay in control. And mind you, you see where the human creativity comes in? Being able to even think about ways to prompt. This is where our creativity, and this is the edge that we will always have. We will need to think about how to tell the AI to do what we need to do, but we have to make sure it understands, and that takes a little bit of creativity. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this session was supposed to end at 12. We have one more session for you. Yes, we have one more session for you at 12:30. This one was on AI and the teacher. And hopefully you got some new strategies, some new tips on how to use AI to help your work and to assist you as the teacher. And then in the next session, we will be talking about AI and the student and what that actually means. So in the chat is the link to your assessment for your certificate. Hopefully all of you in the session earlier, you were able to get your certificate already. You passed and you got your certificate. Go on now to AI and the teacher, complete your assessment, get your certificate, and then meet us into the next room. Remember, this room will close for our final session of the day, AI and the student. Thank you, everyone.